Hello everybody, welcome to another Ask Melly segment where we look at your emotional cycles and how to move through them with ease and grace so you can make the next chapter of your life magical. Now you will have to bear with me, there's a big storm going on right now, so hopefully you can hear me all right over the noise of the rain. Now today I want to talk about energy. How do we keep it flowing and positive and upbeat and juicy all the time? How do we keep it moving in a good way? Now, I want to talk about this because it's the key to feeling good. Without that energy, you don't feel good and then you can't accomplish your goals. You need energy to do it. Now, you could look at energy from multiple facets, but I'm looking at it from the very human perspective of we need energy. We need the stamina. We need the drive to move forward. So, how do we keep it flowing and on all the time? I need to bust a myth right now. It is impossible to keep it on and flowing all the time. It cannot happen because we need balance. By this, I mean that, yes, we need positivity, we need flow, but flow comes and goes, very much like a wave, like the oceans. The tides come in and out. They cannot be constantly in. Our energy works the same way. It comes, it ebbs and flows, it comes in cycles. But that doesn't mean when the tide goes out, when our energy goes out, it has to deplete us to the point of not being able to function. So the other thing I want to talk about is the fact that it has to balance on 3 levels: physically, emotionally, and mentally. So we know what that's like from a physical perspective, that when we put too much energy into something or we exert ourselves, our body needs to rest after. We need that physical rest. That's how we find the balance. Emotionally, we have the same thing happen, and mentally the same thing happens as well. We know from a mental perspective that when we are learning new things or when we're putting energy into doing something that's mentally draining, mentally taxing, we need that mental rest afterwards. The same happens emotionally, but it is one of the least understood, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the least acknowledged part of our energy flow that still needs balance. So, as I said, it is impossible to have perfect energy flow, upbeat optimism and positivity 100% of the time. It cannot happen. But I'm not saying it has to be up and down, up and down, up and down. It's about leveling out this cycle, leveling out the curve. So the highs are not so high and the lows are not so low that they drop you into depression. Just a beautiful balance in which you live your life. So, what else did I have down? I've made notes on this because there was so much I wanted to talk about and I wanted to try and keep it succinct for you guys. So the question we need to look at then is what happens in those highs and in those lows, especially from an emotional perspective. When we get that emotional high, everything is going right. Everything is beautiful. That energy is pumping and flowing and positive. That energy high is intoxicating and it's awesome. And I have to admit, being an Aries, being very fiery by nature, I have a lot of that energy. But it drops. And when it drops, my tendency emotionally is to then get stuck in despair and hopelessness. And I've had to learn to even out this cycle of, yes, I can go for it. I can have this fiery high, but I have to be mindful that when I go low again, I'm not dropping myself into that space. And sometimes that does mean stopping myself just before that really big high kicks in and going, I need to rest for a couple of minutes before I come back at this. So the reason the energy drops to the point of that big drop, to the point where you don't move forward, where everything stops, where life feels like it's on hold, is because of what's actually happening in those emotional highs and lows. And we know that from a physical perspective. When you've got that physical high, you know your body is exerting itself. The adrenaline is pumping. All of that physical stuff is happening. But there is a part of you going, how long can I keep this up for? Because we know our bodies need rest. There's no denying that factor. The same happens emotionally. So when we have those emotional highs where everything is beautiful, everything is working great, there is still an element of fear that comes in just before the drop. And that fear is going to be very individual, but most frequently it's, can I maintain this high? And I have no doubt it's why you're here right now. That energy high we get, we want to stay up here all the time because everything happens. Everything gets done. We're in flow. We're pumped up. We feel amazing. And then there's that little doubt and the little niggle in the back of our minds that goes, can I maintain this? Because we know on a physical level, we can't maintain that energy constantly. And the moment that little niggle comes in, that's when the curve starts to drop again. That is your first sign that you are dropping and your body needs emotional rest. But to stop that plummet down into the depths of just despair and hopelessness and depression and all those yuckier emotions, we can go through our stages of self to stop that plummet from going deep. So what I mean by this is you've recognized, oh, can I maintain this? Fear creeps in. The instant that fear creeps in, step to stage 2, forgiveness, which is our mother goddess stage, and go, okay, forgive myself for the past times that I haven't been able to maintain this energy. From there, we can step into part 3 or stage 3, which is self-belief. I am okay if I don't maintain this energy. I am okay if I do. I am safe. I'm secure if my energy does drop. There is nothing wrong with me when that happens. All those affirmation statements which will really make you feel strong and solid and safe, that's where they come in. Then, as your energy is cycling, usually by then, you've kind of hit the bottom of that drop-off cycle. From there, you can step into your dark queen, which is seeing the future possibilities. So you've gone, I see the fear. I forgive myself for where this fear has dropped me into the depths in the past. And I believe I can get through this. I believe I don't have to go so deep and I can get back to action very, very quickly. Then that future possibility creeps in. That's stage 4. What could happen when I get back up there again? What could happen when my energy is positive and really pumping again? And that future possibility could be, what could happen if I just raise it just a little bit? Maybe I don't need it up here. Maybe I just need it up here. And that's enough for my energy to keep moving forward. And then we step into stage 5, the sorceress, which is where you set your steps, you set your statement, and you get to work. So you can see then how there's this beautiful cycle where before you go action, 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 hit the pinnacle and go, shit, can I maintain this? And then fear plummets you into the depths of inaction, forcing you to rest. Or you can go all the way to the top and go, oh, I don't think I can maintain this. But it's okay for all the times I haven't maintained it in the past, because I know I can get better at this and I am confident enough to get through this. I can do this. I don't have to hit the depths. And when I do move forward again, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do that. Let's set my steps to make this happen. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And when that happens, and all of a sudden you're back up at the top again. So this cycle of a drop just becomes this beautiful wave, this gentle ebb and flow of energy. And it's really cool when you can see that playing out within yourself and you can acknowledge that within yourself, because it does raise your energy levels to a new extreme. And in a beautiful way. It's an extreme that's not enough, that's erratic, that's not sustainable. It's a sustainable energy high. because you are acknowledging the balance that must occur with every high. Yes, that's what I wanted to say about the learning about the topics, is that it's about acknowledging that cycle that plays out, and especially what's happening during those highs and lows. So I'm going to leave it at that for this one. So if you need any more help with understanding the emotional cycles you go through, or there's a specific thing that you're curious about, maybe there's something, a cycle that you go through or something you've noticed in those around you and you want a deeper understanding of it, please reach out to me, PM me, put a comment below this video. Let me know what that cycle or that emotion is for you, because we can always dive into it into the next episode. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, my gorgeous, gorgeous friends, and I will see you next week on my mission to normalize the emotional cycles that all women experience in order to step into the next magical chapter of their lives. Love and kindness, everyone. Mwah.